Hello everybody and welcome to the monthly video where I took a look at what's new and notable in light novels, this being for the month of July 2019. Just a little bit about what I'm going to be going over. Just so you know, in the month of July, if we take all of the brand new titles, so those titles that are coming out for the very first time, whether it be print or digital, plus we add in the light novels that are, for the first time getting print editions or the first time getting digital editions. If we lump that all together, there's over 40 volumes of light novels being released in the month of July. Yeah, you hear that? That's the sound of our collective wallets just screaming in agony. Yeah, it's, well, if you're a light novel fan, it's a pretty good predicament to find yourself in, but if you're a completist who thought you might be able to actually read all the light novels releasing every month, well, God help you and your finances. In any case, I'm going to be talking about the brand new titles. There are actually quite a few brand new series that are starting, or a number of one-shots coming out this month. There is a little bit of news about a series that has gone a very long time as print only, finally getting some digital editions of its light novels. And of course there's a couple of print volumes that are coming out of books that, well, I'll be really honest, I never once thought that we'd see in print, so I'll mention those as well. So let's get right to it. So on July 1st, now I know I'm recording this a couple of days into July, but on July 1st from J-Novel Club, we had a brand new book. This one is a light novel that's only a one-shot, and that is Side by Side Dreamers. Saya Hokage, a high school girl who is unable to sleep due to insomnia, encounters Hitsuji Konparu, a girl who can put anyone to sleep as a, quote, lover in a dream. When Hitsui's senpai, Ron Aizome, sees potential in Saya, she ends up joining them and their group of sleepwalkers. As it turns out, unbeknownst to the common citizens in their town, a battle has been unfolding between the Suiju, beings that possess people's spirits in the land of sleep, and the sleepwalkers, who have the power to move about freely in their dreams. Sleeping together as a team, Saya and her newfound group are doing a good job hunting Suiju. That is, until an unexpected darkness comes along. Will the girls be able to defend humanity's sleep? So this is a Yuri title. I'm sure you're all very shocked by that after hearing the description of the book. I actually saw someone comment, so if you don't know, on Twitter, Facebook, and on Instagram, because, I just got to make work for myself everywhere, I do actually post on the day of release. I post that the book is coming out, if it's a new book, on Facebook and on Instagram, where you can do sort of longer text. I put the synopsis of the brand new book that's coming out. In any case, somebody did comment on this on Twitter, and they said that it's a very it's a fun book, that it's a decent one, and that it's kind of a soft introduction to the Yuri genre. It's not like a hardcore Yuri title, if you wish. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of fun. I think Sean Gaffney's already done a review. I haven't actually read his review of it yet, but in any case, that one came out on July 1st. So if you're looking for how light novels handle Yuri and you're looking for that kind of a title, this might be one to definitely check out. On July 9th, we're getting two titles from J-Novel Club in print that, I will be honest, I never ever thought that we would get in print. The first one is J.K. Haru is a sex worker in another world. It's kind of funny because I'm filming this on, I guess it's Wednesday. It's July, I don't even know what day it is. I know it's the Wednesday right before Anime Expo is getting fully up and running. And it's funny because this was a title that was announced by J-Novel Club at Anime Expo last year, and left a lot of us scratching our head and going, I don't know what to say. I could read you the synopsis, but I mean, really, like, the title is about as clear as it can be. It's basically a girl who is about to be run over by Truck-kun, that terrible evil thing itself. I'm pretty sure somebody has written a light novel in Japan. I think somebody posted on Twitter about Truck-kun, the light novels from Truck-kun's point of view. Anyway, so she's about to get run over. A classmate tries to save her, fails, they die, and they both go to another world. He gets to be the hero with all sorts of cheat abilities, and she gets nothing. And so she becomes a prostitute in order to survive. It's a very complicated title. In fact, funny enough, I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure it is the absolute longest review video that I have ever posted on this channel for a single volume of a light novel. Because there was a lot to unpack, and even then I would say I did a pretty good job of keeping it spoiler free, so I didn't even go in depth on things, and it was still, I think, about 27 minutes long, if I recall. And it's a lot better than it sounds. Yes, it is definitely not suitable for many audiences. I mean, even if you're old enough to handle mature content, it still might not be your thing, but it is definitely a lot better than what I think the title makes it sound out to be. It's obviously done very well for J-Novel Club because A, they're putting it out in print, which, like I said, a year ago did not think was ever going to happen, and B, they've also licensed the sequel to this one, which is J.K. Haru is a sex worker in another world, Summer. And I guess what happened was that the author published this one through a Japanese publisher, and then self-published a bunch of short stories as this summer volume, and J-Novel Club has published it. So they're putting it out digitally. I don't know whether it's going to get a print release. And this series is also getting a manga in Japan. So yeah, it's strange to me. I don't know. Like I said, it's really funny that a title that we all really kind of had no idea what to do with a year ago, and here we are now, and it's selling well enough to have a sequel, get a print release, and all the rest of that stuff. Also on July 9th from J-Novel Club, and this is another one that was actually announced at Anime Expo a year ago and is getting a print release, and was not likely in my mind to get a print release, but not because of the source material being questionable like it was in J.K. Haru, but this one is Last and First Idol. This existential widescreen Yuri Baroque proletariat hard sci-fi idol story has carved out a new legend in science fiction history. Bye-bye, Earth. My idol activities here were so much fun. This was the 4th Hayakawa Sci-Fi Contest Special Prize, the 48th Seiyun Award, which is the Japanese Short Story Division, 27th Dark Seiyun Award Guest Division, 16th Sense of Gender Award Future Idol Award. Last and First Idol earned the first ever special prize in the Hayakawa Sci-Fi Contest, and the first debut work to win the Seiyun Award in 42 years. Also includes Evolution Girls, in which some gacha expert friends race to find the truth of the universe, and Dark Seiyu, a brand new space opera about voice actors. Gengen Kusano's astounding debut collection. So, so it's a couple of short stories, heavily awarded in Japan. Very hard science fiction. In fact, Sam was saying it was the one series that he finally got to put his science degree to work. And again, I've heard some very, very good things about this book. I don't know, I'm curious, and again, I have no insight on this. I'm curious, though, whether this one's getting a print release because it's kind of like a pet project of Sam's, and he's able to make enough money with other things that he's just taken a chance with this, or I don't know. I would be very curious. I should have asked Sam actually before I started recording this whether J-Novel Club was trying to market this one still in the vein of light novels, or whether they were going for that hard sci-fi category in bookstores, because it's got, by the sounds of it could do well in either. So but yeah, let me know, like, if you've read this one, let me know your thoughts. Try to keep it kind of spoiler free. I hear there are some rather grotesque things that go on in it. like body morphing and stuff like that. But nonetheless, share your thoughts with everybody in the comments down below, because this is one that I have not had a chance to read. And honestly, I have to be, I kind of think that maybe some of it might be over my head. I don't know. I've never been really a hard science fiction reader, so I'm not sure about this one. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. On July 13th, and this one from J Novel Club, and it's a brand new series, getting a digital-only release, as they typically do with their new series, and that is volume number 1 of Record of Wortenia War. Ryoma Mikoshiba, an ordinary high schooler adept at martial arts, one day finds himself summoned to another world. The ones who summoned him, the Oitormia Empire, cite the fact that when those summoned kill another living being, they can absorb a fraction of their strength and make it their own, as their reason. But upon learning the Empire uses those they summon to strengthen themselves by foul means, Ryoma is consumed by hatred and slays an important member of the Oitormian court. Attempting to escape the Empire's borders while keeping his identity a secret, he is accosted by twin sisters, one golden-haired, the other silver-haired, in a meeting that sets the gears of fate in motion. The curtain rises on a record of the wars of a young supreme ruler in this other-world fantasy. So this one, yeah, we talked a little bit about this in the podcast. So I guess it is, as you can surmise from the description, the people that are summoned from another world can kill beasts, monsters, whatever, well, whoever, and get stronger through it. And then it sounds like the kingdom then figures out a way to use that amassed power to basically kill that person to take the power for themselves. That's the gist I kind of get from the description, what we were talking about on the podcast. Supposedly this one is a little bit of a darker take. I don't know if it goes all the way to like Berserk dark type territory, but like even if you look at the character, I mean the main character on the cover kind of gives that little bit of Berserk, guts kind of aesthetic to him. So I don't know what this one's going to actually be like. No, it's already, you can start reading it on J Novel Club, so I'm sure some of you have already started checking out some of the earlier chapters. If you have, what are your thoughts? Like, is it bringing anything sort of new to the table? I kind of like the idea that it's doing an isekai, but it's not so much we're summoning you to be a hero, we're just summoning to use you, abuse you, destroy you. That is a little different than what we typically see in most isekai, so I'm just kind of curious to see how it plays out. On July 22nd, now this one is kind of notable. It's going to be from J Novel Club, and it's actually volume 8 of If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. Now, this is the digital release. This one, the For My Daughter, is getting print releases from J Novel Club. It's actually getting an anime. In fact, if I recall from my Twitter feed, the anime is premiering tomorrow, from the day that I'm filming this. In fact, I think this will go live the day that the first episode goes live, which would be that day, Thursday. So there is an anime coming out for this series. That's really not what makes this notable, though. This is actually the last volume of the series. At least that's certainly how it's been sort of advertised, and from what I can gather, and taking a look at releases and stuff in Japan. And as far as I know, this is it. This is the last book in this series, so it's an 8-book series. It's going to be complete, so I just thought I'd sort of throw this one out at you, that if you've been following the series or you've been kind of wondering like how many volumes am I in for if I decide to check it out, well, there you go. It's 8 books long. On July 23rd, from Yen On, these are actually, there's 4 digital releases, and it's all of the same series, so it's volumes 1 through 4, and that is A Sister's All You Need. So this has been kind of like the last publisher that's really held out for a long time in letting Yen On release digital versions of their books. They've finally broken down and they're allowing them to release these in digital. So that's what makes them notable. Like I said, I think the print releases are up to like volume 6 or later. If I'm wrong, let me know. I read the first volume and then kind of lost track. And this one, of course, about basically a group of light novelists and artists, all the different sort of people involved in the production of a light novel. They're all kind of friends, and it just kind of follows their adventures and stuff. And there, of course, it's sort of like a bit of a madcap spin on those kind of things. I mean, one chapter in the first volume was him doing his taxes, but it was a little bit more of an absurd comedic look at his tax lady and what she was telling him to do. And yeah, so it was moments a little over the top, but I felt that there was still enough real sincerity, and these moments where it felt like you were kind of glimpsing a little bit of autobiographical information, whether it be of the author of the series specifically or just of other light novel authors that he knows. And that for me was the most interesting and engaging part of that book. And I mean, they're pretty short, so it's a series that well, if I ever get through my to-be-read pile, maybe I should pick one up just for fun. On July 28th, and this one is from J Novel Club, and it is a digital release. This is a brand new title. As far as I know, it's only the one volume, and that is Seriously Seeking Sister. Ultimate Vampire Princess just wants little sister. Plenty of service will be provided. They kind of have me till that last little bit, and then I'm like, I don't know. Although I'll admit, it makes me curious. Long ago, on the continent of Ephenia, there existed the feared tribe of vampires called Truebloods, whose great strength allowed them to reign supreme over all other tribes. However, a millennium has passed, and any trace of them has vanished off the face of the planet. That is, until the youngest and most talented royal daughter of the Truebloods awakens in the modern day. Vampire Princess Ristia has only one wish: a cute little sister. Monstrously strong, skilled in magic, and incredibly beautiful, people regard her as an angel, but she assures everyone she's just a normal girl. Can this normal girl find the little sister she so desires? Follow this unusual vampire through a fan service-filled, sibling-searching fantasy adventure. Yeah. So, obviously, there's going to be fan service. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be more of like the Ishi-type fan service and not so much the hentai fan service. That's my guess. I obviously haven't read it yet. If you've checked it out on J Novel Clubs, if you've been reading it sort of in the installments on their site, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Like, is this... I mean, definitely it gets the feel that it's a Yuri. It sounds like... it seems actually with J Novel Club, these titles that they're bringing out, these sort of one-shots or, only maybe 2-volume type things, it really seems like it's them trying to experiment with some different types of books, whether it be more like shoujo types that they did with the whole My Husband Has the Head of a Beast and Apparently It's My Fault. I think that was the title of it. So more shoujo romance type titles, Yuri titles with this one and the side-by-side Dreamers that I talked about at the beginning of the video. So it seems like they're kind of playing this out. So let me know in the comments down below. This Seriously Seeking Sister, is it a Yuri title? Actually, I think it says it is a Yuri title, so never mind that. Is it any good? What are your thoughts? And just how fan service is this? Is this like a wink wink, nudge nudge, yeah, there's fan service and there's really nothing? Is it just like a little, wink and a nudge kind of fan service? Or is it Ishi, or is it pure out hentai? I'm curious. Yeah, I'm just curious. On July 30th, now this one is like, like everybody decided to end the month with a bang, basically. There are a whole bunch of new things coming out, most of them from Yen on. First off, though, this one is from Vertical, and that is Voices of a Distant Star. Award-winning director and author Makoto Shinkai offers a romantic sci-fi tale about young love and space adventure based on his animated film. This new novel gives readers more insight into Mikako and Noboru's relationship. Fans of the original series will again be immersed in the beautiful world of Shinkai. The word world. I vaguely thought it meant anywhere that was cell phone reception. It's the year 2046. Mikako Nagamine and Noboru Tereo are middle school classmates, tentatively sharing an unspoken first love. But unbeknownst to him, Mikako has been recruited into the UN Space Force, and instead of going on to high school, will join the spacecraft Lysithia to search for alien Tarsians. As she travels further and further to the outer reaches of the solar system, the time it takes for a text message to reach the Earth grows longer and longer. Back on Earth, time passes normally for Noboru, but as the years pass, he still can't forget the voice on the other side of the cell phone. Steeped in nostalgia and memory, Arata Kano brings to the page the award-winning OVA by acclaimed filmmaker Makoto Shinkai, director of She and Her Cat, The Place Promised in Our Early Days, Garden of Words, 5 centimeters per second, and the highest-grossing anime film of all time, Your Name. Arata Kano is a writer who has produced novelizations of Makoto Shinkai's other works, including 5 centimeters per second, which is also available from Vertical. So this is kind of cool. This was actually Shinkai's first work, and it was a work that he produced alone. If I recall, I'm trying to think back because it's actually been quite a number of years since this came out. If I recall, it took him something like 3 years or something to basically build this OVA, and I think it was about 25 minutes long or something like that. Like, it wasn't like a full feature film, obviously, but it was very, very personal and intimate because you really only had these 2 voice actors because Shinkai did it all himself, and I guess just only got people that he could to do it. And it was actually really well done. I mean, for a single person putting so much effort and work into it, both story and visually, it was a really, really rewarding viewing experience. I remember really enjoying it quite a lot. So it's kind of cool that this is coming out. And again, it's cool because it's an older work. It's not just one that's tying into a film that's really recent. So I'm kind of curious about this one, checking this one out and sort of seeing how much it rekindles my memory about the anime. Because like I said, it's probably been, wow, I'm trying to think, it's probably been maybe 10 years, maybe more since I saw it. So yeah, it's been a long time. Now we get a whack ton of brand new light novels from Yen On. I don't know why they decided to push everything back to the 30th. I mean, they've got, if you look at the list of releases that I have in the description down below or like on my website or whatever, like, you know, there's a ton of stuff. And there are a couple of places where Yen On is releasing other books. So I was kind of curious why they decided to push all of their new stuff to the very end of the month, but meh. First up, Final Fantasy 13-2, Fragments Before. This series of character-driven short stories provides a deeper look at the events leading up to the second installment of the hit game series, Final Fantasy XIII. So if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy XIII, obviously this is one to check out. Yeah, so I guess it's just, you know, a prequel to the video game. It gives you a little bit more insight, which I'm trying to remember. Like, I played the game. I remember the ending left me really unsatisfied because, like, when you finish the game, you kind of got the feeling that the only way to really get the full deal was to buy all of the add-on stuff, which I didn't because I thought that was a scam. But anyway, yeah. So if you're a fan of that game, that's for you. Next up from Yen On, we have Little Witch Academia, the Nonsensical Witch and the Country of Fairies. It's an original story which is based on the anime. To fulfill her dream of becoming a witch, Atsuko Kagari has been working hard at Luna Nova Magical Academy, but after a trip to a magical hilltop, rumored to be a popular spot for fairies, dogs and cats start going missing, and it's up to Akko, Lotte, and Susie to get to the bottom of it. Now, when this was announced, I believe somebody said that this is actually a series, like this light novel is aimed more at younger readers. You can kind of tell by the artwork, but what really gave it away apparently is because it had like a green border around it that you can see, which, as I understand it, apparently the publisher of this book, that's one of their sort of cues that this is a light novel meant for younger readers. That was my understanding. Somebody had said that to me online when we were talking about this, when it was announced that it had been licensed. If you have any more insight, feel free to share that in the comments down below. Also coming from Yen On, we've got volume number 1 of The Dirty Way to Destroy the Goddess's Hero. This one, fed up with cocky heroes always looking to save the day when all he wants is to find delicious treats for his cute daughter, the Blue Demon King of the Underworld calls upon a young boy, Sotoyama Shinichi, for assistance. Once the two make a deal, the king resumes his visit to the human world, until he realizes he may have chosen the wrong person for the job. So this one, obviously a comedy, playing a little bit on the isekai. This is something that we're seeing a little bit more of, obviously, which is people being brought into an isekai and they are not the hero. They are either the villain themselves, or they are assisting the quote-unquote villain. So yeah, this is something that we're seeing more and more in light novels. But this one, yeah, pure comedy from what I can tell, and I think it'll be worth checking out. Also on July 30th from Yen On, we have volume number 1 of bottom tier character Tomozaki. Tomozaki is one of the best gamers in Japan, and in his opinion, the game of real life is one of the worst. No clear-cut rules for success, horribly balanced, and nothing makes sense. But then he meets a gamer who's just as good as him, and she offers to teach him a few exploits. Now, this series, a lot of people have said, seems to be marketed as sort of a spiritual successor to My Youth Romantic Comedy As Wrong As I Expected. That the main character is a slightly watered down Hajime. Hachiman. Wow, Hajime. It's because we've been talking a lot about Arifureta. But anyway, Hachiman. It's a very watered down version from what I understand. I haven't had a chance to read it, obviously, because it hasn't been released. But nonetheless, I have said before, and especially talking about this title, because it's often on the top 10 in Japan, I'm looking forward to sort of a little bit more slice of life rather than fantasy and isekai. It's always good that we can get a little bit more stuff that might be more accessible to others. But I also have been saying for a while now, I'm like, why are we not getting the slice of life books that incorporate gaming or have gaming as a theme? Like, I mean, there's the light novel series called Gamers. I just don't understand why we don't get those books. Because to me, I kind of think like that would plug into a whole other demographic. But maybe that's just my way of thinking. But at least I'm glad to see this book getting licensed and coming out. Again, it's slice of life, has the whole gamer side to it. I'm curious to see how much that gamer thing plays into the whole using games to find exploits in life. And so I'm curious to see how that plays out in this one. Finally, from Yen On, we have a brand new series, volume 1 of Last Round Arthurs, Scum Arthur and Heretic Merlin. Local high school prodigy Rentaro Magame's daily life is pretty boring, though not for lack of things to do. He's just done everything already. In order to kill some time, he deliberately teams up with Luna, the most good-for-nothing girl around, and enters a competition to decide the next successor of the legendary King Arthur. But there's just one problem. Luna pawned off the holy sword Excalibur. This series, the author, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure I recall correctly, I should have double checked it before I started recording, but if I recall correctly, it's actually the author of the Akashic Records of the Bastard Magical Instructor. And I know for a fact, though, that the artist is the same artist as the Magical Index series. So, you know, a certain Magical Index and the certain Magical Index New Testament. So it's that artist. So pretty good pedigree on this title. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And I'm kind of curious, like, because when you start reading it, it sounds more like it's set in our modern world and just kind of everything's average, but hey, we're going to enter a competition to see who's the next King Arthur. That just seems to come out of nowhere in the description of this one. So kind of curious to see how this plays out. Whether it's, I get the sense it will probably be like a battle magic high school type title. That's my feeling. If any of you have any insight into it, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. So that's all that's new and notable coming out in July, but like I said, with over 40 volumes, there's sure a heck a lot of other stuff that you can check out. I do have a complete list of all the titles being released in the description down below. As much as possible, I've got links if you want to check them out either from Amazon, Book Depository, or for the digital-only releases, I've added some iBooks links just to give you all some variety. I do also post this on my website over at justusrstone.com, so if you want to go there too to check it out for whatever reason, feel free. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.